Scott Lloyd was one of the officials charged with carrying out Trump's zero-tolerance policy in 2018. When families were separated at the border, the kids were sent to government facilities under Lloyd's watch.
You stick to the law, I stick to the recording.
Since he left the administration a year later, he's focused on recording rock music. He sat down with us for his first major on-camera interview since zero tolerance. Those parents, they come to the border and they meet this policy and their families are separated. What do you think of your role in that process?
We took care of the kids. And so that was just what we did. And so the determination that there had been a border infraction, that was a law enforcement determination.
You've written and been pretty open about the fact that you're a man of faith. Mm-hmm. Did your faith affect your decision to take the job and then the way that you did it?
Yeah, I think that my faith definitely speaks to the idea of service and servant leadership and that sort of thing. And also using your talents to the best of your ability to improve other people's lives.
Do you think that what's happened through ORR over the last several years has improved people's lives?
Yes.
And I know you smile because you know a lot of people would disagree with you on that.
The reality is that families belong together. There's no two ways about that, and that's something I firmly believe. Nobody carries that all the way to the idea that parents can never be arrested for an infraction of the law, and that's what they did in that circumstance, and we did the best we could by the kids.
How did you personally consider the long-term consequences of family separation?
I know that the danger of that exists. I didn't think that anybody was confused about the potential effects. How exactly did your office keep track of children who'd been separated? All the information that we need exists within the portal, and case managers would, on a case-by-case basis, probably have additional information, in their desk, maybe on their desktop.
The organizations that have been using the data that your office had to try to piece together where family members ended up say that they actually often are missing pretty critical data. How detailed were the spreadsheets?
I didn't look into them very closely. But they would have everything that you would need for to handle a case.
Why didn't you look more closely? For example, it was known that you kept a spreadsheet of pregnant minors and sort of the process and stage they were in their pregnancy. Young girls. If you knew who was pregnant in your care, how did you not know who was separated?
Well, I appreciate the question because I see that as an opportunity to clarify a few things. It was something that I rarely consulted except to have an idea in my mind when those questions came up. How many pregnant women do we usually have in our care? It's information that we, our medical team, needed anyway. This notion that I was tracking menstrual cycles of women, it's disgusting. It's something that I've got to kind of deal with and try to put out. And I never even noticed that information was there until I started being asked about it in Congress.
From a record-keeping standpoint, though, you have to know that it looks hypocritical, right? To be able to keep a detailed spreadsheet. I actually have a copy of it with me here. I looked at it. Many columns on that spreadsheet. Sure. Detailed spreadsheet of pregnant young girls in your care. But then to hear that you didn't look closely at a spreadsheet around family separation, to people on the outside who, yes, haven't had government jobs, don't know how all these systems work, that sounds like a choice, not an accident.
Well, I guess I could back up and say that what I meant by that is if you were to ask me to recite the fields in either of those spreadsheets, I wouldn't be able to do it. So in both cases, I would say I didn't look closely at them.
Knowing what we now know about family separation, there are kids still here in the U.S. who were separated, suffering severe trauma. How do you square your faith with what you've seen happen to the kids who are in your care?
So my task throughout it all was to care for the kids. And if we're going to take it down to an individual kid, it's like I can say for certain that we did everything we could to get to receive that kid, that child, give them the best that we could, 24/7, give them every one of their needs, and reunite them as quickly as possible with the appropriate family member. And that accords with my faith. And I still want the best for those children. It's still part of my prayer life to include them as my intention, my family's intention for them.
What exactly do you pray for?
Really, kind of what I want for everybody is that's just love, health, well-being, Christ's love in their life.